Hello guys, in this video we are going to develop login application using Java Swing, JDBC and MySQL database. So this is the write-up tutorial that I have created and published on my website. My website is javaguides, and I will be providing a link of this tutorial in the video description for your reference. Alright, so in this tutorial we are going to develop three functionalities, that is user login, user logout and user change password. Alright, so before implementing this tutorial I would like to show you the demo so that you can understand what we are going to exactly build in this tutorial. So I already created this login application in Eclipse ID, so let me quickly run the application and I will show you the demo so that you will understand what exactly we are going to build in this tutorial. So right click and run as your application. So this is the login screen. It has a username and password fields, so just enter username as Ramesh and password as Ramesh@1234, and we are authenticating this username password with the database username password. So in a MySQL workbench I have created a table student with username and password. Alright, so just hit the login button, so this will authenticate with database credentials, and here I am just going to login. So once login successful, this is the home page will be populated here, so user can log out or user can change the password. Alright, so if you want to log out, just click on logout button and it will say the confirmation box, say yes, and it will log out and it will again navigate to the login screen. So let me again log in to this application, and here if you want to change the password you can just click on change password, and here you can just give the new password. So I will give Ramesh123 and I say enter. So this will say password has been successfully changed. Okay, click OK and just verify the password in a database table. Just let me quickly run the statement. So look at here, the password is changed. Earlier it was Ramesh@1234, now it is changed to Ramesh123. Okay, so this is the application that we are going to implement in this video tutorial. Alright, so let me develop this tutorial from the scratch so that you will understand how to create or how to develop a login application using Java Swing, JDBC and MySQL database. So in order to develop a login application you can use this write-up tutorial. I will provide a link of this tutorial in the video description. Okay, so what are the tools and technologies that we will be using? So we use JDK 1.8 or later, and we are going to use MySQL connector JDBC driver to connect to the MySQL database, and we use JDBC API 4.2 and we use Eclipse ID to develop this application. Alright, so first we need to set up the database. So let's go ahead and let's create a database in a MySQL workbench. So let me just execute this statement, create database swing_demo, and here we go. So database is created, swing_demo. Alright, now let's create a student table. So first select this database and execute this student detail script, and here we go. So table is created. Let me refresh and I will show you. So look at here, student table is created under swing_demo database. Now let's create a Java project. Alright, so we have set up the database successfully. Now let's create a Java project in Eclipse ID, and we'll add a MySQL JDBC connector to the class path of our Java project, and then we start writing the code. Okay, so let me switch to the Eclipse ID here and just create a Java project. Go to the file, new, and Java project, and just name it as swing login app. Hit finish, and let's go ahead and let's add the MySQL JDBC driver to the class path. So you can download MySQL connector JDBC driver from the website. So let me just do it from the Google search. So just type Google search as MySQL connector Java Maven dependency. Go to the Maven repository here and look at here, just there are different versions. Pick the latest version, and here you can see the jar, so you can just click on it and you can download it. So once you click on this jar link, it will download this MySQL connector driver dependency on your file system. So look at here, I have already downloaded it. So click on add external jars and go to the location and just select it, and you can here look at here the dependency is added to the class path, and you can edit the JRE or JDK version here. So I will just give 1.8 as a JDK version here, hit and finish. Now we have created Java project and we have added MySQL connector driver dependency to the class path of our Java project. Now let's see the next step. So next is we need to create need to write a code to develop the login application. Alright, so instead of writing line by line code, I will just reuse the code and I will explain the code, because this is a quite big application, so writing line by line code, it takes a lot of time. So let me quickly reuse the code and let me explain you the code and let me explain you the flow of the application. Alright, so let me create a class and let's name it as a user login. So before that, let me create a package name and let's give a package name as net.javaguides.swing. okay, and here I will just create a class and I will say user login as a class name, and let me just reuse this code. Okay, and this is just a format issue, and here we need to create a user home class. So just right click on this package and new and create a user home class here, and just here is the user home code, and just copy this code and just replace this. Yeah, here we go. And here we need to create a change password class. So right click on swing package and create a class and just name it as a change password, and let's copy this change password code from the my write-up tutorial, and here just paste it. That's it. So all the source code is in place and we don't have any compilation error. So let me walk through the source code here. So this is a user login class which extends a JFrame component, and look at here, these are the classes we need to declare. So login screen has a username, password and label and buttons, right? So we need to declare these components or these classes here, and inside a user login constructor we are writing the logic. So look at here, we are just giving a close button. So let me just relate this code with the screen so that you will understand better. Yeah, so this is the user login screen, right? And here is the exit button. So for that we need to write this code, and we need to give a height and width for the screen, right? So this is the window screen, so we need to provide a height and width using setBounds method, and resizable you can just specify false. And here we need to create a panel, right? So we need to create a panel and we need to add a text field labels to the panels, and here we just setting the border for the panel. Okay, and here is the login label. So this is the login, so we can say it is as a label, so we can write the code to create the label like this. So we need to create an instance of JLabel class, and here we need to set a foreground color as a black, and we need to specify font and height and width, and we need to add this label to the panel here. So similarly we need to create a text field for username and password, right? Username and password. So just create a text field for username and password, and just add this text field and text field to the panel like this. Okay, and we need to create a label, right? Username and password, these are the two labels. So for that we need to create an instance of JLabel class and just give a label name as user name here, and here is a password, and just we specify background, foreground, font and height and width and etc, and we need to add these labels to the panel. So pretty simple, we just create an instance and we need to specify some of the properties, and we need to add these label, text fields, buttons to the panel. Okay, it's pretty simple program. And here we need to have a button, right? So once we enter username and password, we need to hit a login button, and this will authenticate with the database credentials. So look at here, this is the button, and we are performing some action on this login button, right? So for that we need to implement this action listener here, and inside that we need to provide implementation for action perform method. So look at here, we are just getting a text field, username and password into a separate variable here, username and password, and just we are writing here JDBC code to authenticate with your database table username and password. So look at here, we are establishing a JDBC connection with the MySQL database using get connection method. Driver manager will provide a get connection method to establish a connection with MySQL database using JDBC URL and username and password. Look at here, we are using swing_demo database. And once we got a connection object, we can create a prepare statement object using prepare statement method, and here we're just specifying select SQL statement, and here we are just specifying username and password for the placeholders. So here we can use execute query method to execute the prepare statement object, and that result will be stored in a result set. And here we are checking the result set with the if statement, and once the result set is not empty, then we just create an instance of user home class, and we call a user home constructor, and inside a user home constructor we write all the code to create a logout button as well as change password logic. Okay, so look at here, on a logout button we write some code here. So once the user click on logout button, then the user should navigate to the login screen, right? So for that we have written a code here. Okay, and for the change password also, so once user click on change password button, then user should navigate to the change password screen, right? So for that we have just implemented this action listener. It's a pretty simple code. Okay, and so once the user successfully logged in, then we need to we need to print this message, you have successfully logged in. And if the result set is empty, then in a else part we can say wrong username and password. Okay, it's pretty simple. So once user is successfully logged in, then this user home page will be populated, and from the user home you can either you can click on logout or change password button. And let's have a look into the change password logic. So once you click on change password button, then this will be navigated to change password class. So inside a change password class constructor we have written all the logic. So here we create a separate panel because we need to create a separate screen for change password like this, and we create a text field to enter a new password. And once we click on change password button, then this will change the password. This will update a password into a database. For that again we need to establish a connection with MySQL database using JDBC API, and we need to update a student table with a new password, right? It's pretty simple. So once the password is updated into a database, we just we say the confirmation message like password has been successfully changed. Alright, and then we just navigate to the again user home. It's pretty simple source code, right? So let's go ahead and let's run the application and let's see the demo of it. So this is user login is the entry point. So just let's go ahead and let's run this Java application, and look at here, this is the main method. So this is the entry point of our program, and inside that we have created an instance of user login, and here is the constructor. So inside a constructor we have written all the logic. So you can separate out this logic from the constructor, and you can create a separate method, and you can keep all the logic into a method, and you can call that method from the constructor. Okay, so you can refactor the code as you want, and you can also separate out all the JDBC code from the this swing logic, and you can also separate out each label, so you can refactor a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and let's run this login application. So in a user login class, right click and run as a Java application. So this will give us a login screen, and here we need to enter username and password and hit login button. Yeah, here we go. So you have successfully logged in, and this is the user home page. So either you can log out or you can change the password. So I will just click on logout button, and this is the confirmation box, and I say yes. So again this will navigate to the login screen, and I will just again log in with the credentials, username and password, and I will say, and now I want to change the password here. So here just enter a new password, Ramesh123, and hit enter, and password has been successfully changed. This is the confirmation box, and let's verify from the database. So yeah, look at here, Ramesh123, the database is successfully changed in a database. That's it guys. Just you can refer the write-up tutorial. I have given a link in the video description. So I will be creating a same tutorial using Java Apex in upcoming videos. So subscribe to my YouTube channel so that whenever I will publish a new videos, you will get notified. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.